And now, live in studio, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
Yes, here we are again, another day committed to being your consumer advocate. It's all about helping you win in any marketplace. And when we say any marketplace, we're talking about 80 different categories of consumer advocate content and advice right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Over 50 show partners associated with our program. And by the way, we were 4 o'clock drive time right here on AM 860 The Answer. Got a weekend show on FM 102.5 The Bone. And you can also find us on your smart televisions at home as well, on Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV, Roku, and 85 other outlets. Just search Binge Networks and you'll find the Consumer Quarterback Show. Now, our goals are to educate, entertain, enlighten. But as we say, we want to help you win in any marketplace.
The only thing I'm addicted to right now is winning.
Save our hotline number in your phone. At some point, you're going to need it. 813-670-7372. You can give us a call or a text on our hotline, 813-670-7372. And make sure you bookmark our website, consumerqb.com. Intelligent Talk Radio. I've got some intelligent folks here in studio with me today. Dr. Bartley Kerr. Welcome in, sir.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming in. So National Rejuvenation Centers, tell us a little bit about what we're going to talk about today.
Well, yeah, National Rejuvenation Centers I have a clinic here in Palm Harbor, Florida, as well as in St. Louis. And what we do is rejuvenation medicine, which is a combination of bioidentical hormones, exercise protocols specific to the patient's needs, and nutritional protocols as well. We call that the Trinity of Rejuvenation. We put all those together to give them a little bit more than the other clinics who do hormones do.
Nice. I like that. Rejuvenation. In your book, it says live healthier, stronger, happier through hormone replacement therapy, exercise, and more. Real people, real results. And here is his book here as well. And more from Dr. Bartley Kerr coming up here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. We also have the lovely Stephanie Rosario back in studio representing Frank Charles Miranda. Welcome in.
Hi, Brandon. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. And yourself?
Great. Happy to be back.
Awesome. Yeah. Thanks for coming.
Yes. Thank you.
So today, we were talking a little bit before the show. There's all these different scenarios that come up in our lovely world of real estate and mortgage and title, right?
Yes.
So there's all these different scenarios. So we're going to dive deeper into some of those.
Yes, absolutely. We're going to talk about how we should take title to a property and when we should and should not put someone else on title with us.
Yeah, that's good stuff. We learned about a couple scenarios this week as well that happened. That some of these things that there's all types of different combinations and factors and scenarios that play out in the real estate world. And you really, you kind of learn as you go over, a couple decades in business myself and real estate and mortgage. And, it's a great time to be in real estate. Of course, buying, selling, or investing. We would love to talk to you and help you through that process. We've got a great team with Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty, helping you win in any marketplace, as we say. And we got a couple of hot listings here I want to talk about on the show. We got a property on Harbor Point Drive in Port Richey. This is a $2 million property, and we are just about to do a price reduction on it. But this is right on the Gulf of Mexico, $2 million asset that we've got at 4348 Harbor Point Drive in Port Richey. Bring your boat to this gorgeous palace, 6,700 square feet, gorgeous property, great for entertaining, and it's a hot listing that we have listed here. Compliments of the Platinum MVP team. 2 security gates to get through just before you're even on the street of Harbor Point. And some hot property listings as well at 861 Mandalay Avenue on Clearwater Beach. Clearwater Beach obviously is the #1 beach in the world, consistently voted top beach. And we've got a beach house for you. This one is just reduced. The owner's motivated. 2-bedroom, 2-bath. There's actually a 3rd bedroom in the back. 861 Mandalay Avenue on Clearwater Beach. It's got a gorgeous patio area in the middle there of the property, and it's got a huge master suite as well. Check out 861 Mandalay and all of our real estate properties at PlatinumMVPTeam.com. And this segment is brought to you by the Bilmar Beach Resort. The official hotel partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show is the Bilmar Beach Resort on Gulf Boulevard in lovely Treasure Island, Florida. And it's filled with fantastic and generous amenities to make your vacation that much more special. I love visiting the Bilmar Beach Resort. They've got 2 pools on site, Sloppy Joe's Beach Bar and Restaurant. And Clyde Smith is an awesome manager. He's the manager. Let him know the Real Estate Quarterback sent you. And his kind of running joke says it's a 2-beer beach. It takes you 2 beers to walk walk all the way down to the beach. It's that long of a beach over there. And 2 beers, or he says one good cocktail, depending on how you roll there. But Bill Maher Beach Resort, the official hotel partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. Give them a call. Book directly. Let them know the Real Estate Quarterback sent you, so you can take them up on special offers and incentives just by mentioning that you're a fan of the Consumer Quarterback Show. All right, Doc, let's jump into it. We got Dr. Bartley Kerr here in studio, National Rejuvenation Centers. And yeah, it seems like there's a need for that. We have such a busy pace of life. We're always, a lot of people are habitually looking down at their phone, and it seems like I'd like to see a study on the number of decisions that the average human being makes now, 10 years ago and 20 years ago. Much slower pace of life. So and with all that said, it just seems like there's more demands on us as human beings today.
Yeah, I mean, what we usually do in our clinic is most of our patients are over the age of 40, 50% women, 50% men. And what we do is we replace the hormones that they're missing with ideal levels of hormone, optimal levels of hormone. And these tend to be what athletic younger people would have, the 20-year-old athletes. So when you're 40, 50, 60, 70, and you have the hormones of an active 20-year-old, just like you just said, you have the spark. Hormone means spark or to give life. Mm-hmm. You have that spark that the younger people have, but the wisdom of somebody your age. It's the best dynamic mentally between the two. Plus the muscle fibers change as you get older. So when you're younger, you have more of the fast twitch muscle fibers. As you get older, you have more of the slow twitch muscle fibers. So when we talk about exercise with these patients, we tell them how to do it so they actually stimulate the fibers that they want to stimulate in order to look the way they want to do and feel the way they want to feel. And oftentimes it's a lot less work than they would have done when they're younger because they have a different muscle type and their hormones are optimized.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you think about hormones, it's especially for women too, women's would talk about the dynamic there between the two sexes. Men want a certain type of hormone. Women are going to need a certain type.
Right. The women are very interesting because they have more hormones that we deal with. We deal with progesterone, estrogen, thyroid, T3, T4 thyroid, DHEA, dihydroepiandrosterone, IGF-1 growth factors. We look at the growth hormone as well. And yes, women do have testosterone, but they only have 1/20th of the testosterone the guys have.
Right.
So we want to replace that. And when women come in and say, what are you going to give me, testosterone? They're thinking of like Eastern Bloc European shot putter testosterone. We say, no, we're dancing with the stars over here. You know, that type of thing. The guys are more straightforward with testosterone. We look at their growth hormone levels, their DHEA, their thyroids, and so forth. I must say that women seem to be, once you get the women right, they tend to love you, and they call. They can't believe they feel the way they do. Once the progesterone in particular hits, they don't. And I always tell the patients to come in totally skeptical, because I would with this stuff, because it's going to blow them away. It's one of the few things that I've ever come across that actually works. So we always get the phone call with progesterone. It takes 1 to 3 days to kick in, and when it does, we get the phone call like, "Oh my God, I can't believe this stuff actually works. I feel like me again." And it makes them relax. It makes them remember stuff. It makes them lose a little bit of weight. It's water weight, but usually the women don't care. It's chemopreventive. It fights cancer. So it's one of those things that makes us feel very happy when they give us that feedback initially. The guys, on the other hand, with testosterone, we deal with injectable testosterone, which seems to be the best type of delivery system for most guys. They feel good in about 5 weeks. If they feel good after an injection, I say that's nice, but that's a placebo effect.
Okay.
You know, it's great that you had the workout of your life and you feel great, but that's a placebo effect. After about 5 weeks, this stuff kicks in. And when it does, they'll know it. And it's really tough, unless you've been on it before, to let them know what it feels like. And I say, it's good, but I can't explain it to you. And then when it happens to them, they say, yeah, I can't explain it to my friends. I get it. I get what you're saying. And I say, this is fantastic. And after about 5 weeks, I say, yeah, but every month after it, it's going to snowball until about 6 months, because testosterone actually turns over the cell. It changes the cell structure. So every month is better than the month before. So what we see with this is month 2, 3, 4, if these guys are in a gym training, which I always recommend them doing either whatever activity they like to do, cycling, whatever they want to do. I'm a gym guy.
Yep.
So I'm going to put together those type of protocols unless they want something else. We'll deal with any type of sport they want to do. But they'll see month 2, 3, and 4, they're 17 again. They go in the gym, they'll throw in another 5 pounds in everything they do. for about 2 months, and then the party's over, because they are human beings and there's a threshold, but it rapidly pushes them forward. They're losing body fat, gaining muscle, sleeping good, all the stuff that really starts to leave you after 40, because we learned at the turn of the century, people were living to 39 and they're dying. Now we're living twice as long. Mm-hmm. But the second half usually sucks. Right. So what we want to do is we want to say, no. Now that you've worked your butt off for half your life, why don't you start enjoying it and feel the way you should?
Right. Yeah, we're talking with Dr. Bartley Kerr here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. We're talking about Rejuvenation and his business, National Rejuvenation Centers. And you're right on. You see it happens. People over time, they slow down, they get comfortable, they get married. There's different scenarios but you see typically they develop that little pot belly, mm-hmm. right? People develop the pot belly, and that seems to be a trend. And I've heard it even said like diet sodas will attribute to that, and some of the things that like the aspartame and those types of things that we ingest. But so it's one of those challenges that people have as they age. Right,
and when they come in, and a lot of these people have hit the wall.
Yep.
We have, and especially the women, when they reach that perimenopausal age, they work out, they do everything they possibly can, and I know they're eating clean and they're still gaining weight. And what's missing? The hormones. It's like having a Porsche in the garage with no gas. It's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Wow. We put it into place so it's easy to do. They don't have to diet. They have to eat like a jock. Yep. They're eating like 3 times as much calories as they normally do. If you're at the Cheesecake Factory, have a piece of cheesecake. That's what we want them to live like. We don't want a Spartan, diet. We want them to actually live, because that's what we're all about. Because the main goal in the book I put in back in 2015, we had a bestseller with the book. And what we said is, why are you doing this? What are you here for? The majority of patients says, I want to feel better and enjoy my life.
Nice.
And that's the key here. And that's why I do it myself. And it's very rewarding to see the things that these people do after they get the hormones.
Yeah, exactly. Life changer for sure. All right, stay with us right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. We got more from Dr. Bartley Kerr here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Also, Stephanie Rosario representing Frank Charles Miranda Law here. And we have our feel-good story of the day. Jason Momoa visits kids in hospital and invites them to a movie set. Find out about that and more from our expert contributors right after this short timeout. Don't go anywhere.
Thanks for listening to My Daddy's Show. For more information, go to consumerqb.com.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, this week we're going to talk about something exciting as usual.
We always have something exciting.
Yes, we do.
At least it's exciting to us.
But this is a question that comes up.
TV, hey, it is Friday night. We're not here. Yes, we pre-recorded once again because WeBeam TV is working over in Tampa with Kansas Star.
The 62 Who Knew. I almost said Professional Mortgage Alliance, Joe's Bar and Grill. But actually, it's our 39th week. 62 Who Knew.
We're at the wonderful steampunk event at the Verizon Event Center here in 2019. I think it's still August, right? Yeah. Woo! Can't remember anymore. Ask Anthony about
to be able to help businesses to do that part of it. But it's just been a couple of years.
Well, and I've taken the business card files from our business cards and made
entrepreneurs and professionals of Tampa Bay. Welcome to your hour for getting the information, the tools, and the connections
Ian
for
Beckles on Radio Influence.
Or you say left hand white, and then they catch the left hand white. What it does, it helps you quick with hand-eye coordination. Yeah.
Well, that's kind
As your super connector, we want to introduce you to our 50+ show partners. We got over 80 categories of expert contributor advice here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, and we want to.
That's where we disagree, but that's okay.
I said nonviolent.
That's okay.
Because, we're one of the only states that don't give them back to right. Got Jamie Limbaugh. He is from the Next Step Image. I love that name because you were telling me earlier.
For the type of republic we actually are is actually very correct. Yet politicians and regular people use these words interchangeably, even though technically they are very different.
If you're an overdoer, overachiever, people pleaser, we tend to neglect ourselves. And even as Sisters Connected here, with Women Unscripted, I know
You're listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
Welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here. We appreciate you tuning in and hanging out with us here on your afternoon drive time here. We want to help you win in any marketplace. And this segment is brought to you by Taps Restaurant. The official restaurant partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show is Taps Restaurant at the International Plaza on Bay Street. The food is very savory food. Great ambiance, very friendly staff as well over at Taps Restaurant, International Plaza. And you can bring your furry friends. They've got an outdoor patio, so dogs are welcome. Charming interior. Happy hours daily at Taps Restaurant, the official restaurant partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. Taps Restaurant Bar and Lounge at the International Plaza Mall. Now, save the date as well, because Wednesday, March 25th, we're going to be over at Taps, our restaurant partner, and we're going to host Tampa Bay's largest speed networking event, 3.0. This is the third one that we're going to be doing. So it's Wednesday, March 25th. Save the date, 6:30 to 8:30 in the p.m. It's going to be Tampa Bay's largest speed networking event, the 3.0 version at Taps Restaurant, International Plaza Mall. All right, we're back here in studio. Our goal is to help you win. As you know, I'm the owner of the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. Got a couple of hot listings I want to let you know about here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. 2689 Sable Springs Road here in Clearwater. This is apartment number 105. It's a ground floor unit. And if you check out the beautiful photography compliments of Fabre Frameworks, you'll see that you have a waterfront property here, downstairs unit with windows on three sides, 2689 Sable Springs Circle, unit number 105 in Clearwater. Now, we also have a great opportunity out in Wesley Chapel, 33308 Camerton Road in Wesley Chapel. This is Pasco County. If you're looking for acreage, we've got some acreage opportunity here for you at Camerton Road, Wesley Chapel. 4-bedroom, 2-bath home available for sale. Rural lifestyle and the convenience of having all the city amenities close by. Bring your horses, your cattle, poultry, livestock out to this property at 33308 Camerton Road in Wesley Chapel. Check out all of our listings at PlatinumMVPTeam.com. All right, so we got Stephanie Rosario now. We're going to talk with Stephanie, talk a little bit about real estate, title, some of the different things happening out there as a consumer advocate. We're going to talk about wire fraud, but let's start with, the ways that you can transfer home ownership. There's a lot of questions that come in sometimes, divorce situations, or, I added my sibling onto this house. I found out he has a lot of debt.
Right.
What are you hearing out there?
Well, so I would say don't just try to do it on your own. Right. Don't just say, oh, hey, I want to add my sibling or my aunt, my uncle to this property. First off, you don't know. Of course, your sibling or your family member, but really, do they talk about any IRS debt they have, or the IRS is non-forgiving. So if you add that person to the title of your house, it could be your child, one of your children. You just want to add to the title in case something were to happen to you.
Right.
You don't want to do that. I mean, unfortunately, even though it may be your child, what if your child has IRS debt that nobody really knows about except for them? Yeah. And then they're added to your house, and 5 years, 2 years, 2 weeks later, you want to sell it. Right. Now, instead of getting 100% of your proceeds, you will have to pay for that person's IRS debt.
Ouch.
Yes.
That hurts.
So, I mean, I would not just say, hey, let's just go get a quitclaim deed and add somebody on, family or not.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
Go to an attorney. I work for two of the best attorneys in Tampa Bay, Frank Miranda and Lauren Frieder. Give us a call. You can ask all the questions you want. We can prepare if it's okay and you find out that everything is fine with the person you're trying to add to title. Once you know that they're free and clear of any kind of debt, Frank or Lauren will be happy to assist in preparing the documents that are necessary. That way you know that it's 100% done correctly.
Yeah, exactly. And also there's scenarios too in real estate where you have a divorce or a potential divorce coming up. Talks about how that will influence title.
Well, a lot of people, they say, oh, I'm in the middle of a divorce, and the husband will say he's going to go get a new house. Well, if you are still in the middle of that divorce and you do not have a final divorce decree filed in the courts, you are still legally married.
Right.
So if that husband decides he wants to go buy a new house, well, if you're still in the middle of a divorce, you're going to have your soon-to-be ex-wife sign that mortgage as a joining spouse.
Mm-hmm.
And people don't realize that. They just think, oh, I'm in the middle of a divorce, so they call themselves divorced.
Right.
And legally, you're not divorced.
Right.
You're just in the middle of the divorce.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and people don't realize that. Yes, if people are getting a divorce, they want to get divorced as quickly as possible sometimes. But don't run out and try to buy a new house. It's not going to work.
Yeah.
So
that's a scenario where you would want to rent. You'd say, say 6 months rental, see where I want to be. If you're moving, another scenario where you want to rent is, if you're moving from the Northeast down to Florida, moving into Tampa Bay, you might want to say, oh, let me rent in Palm Harbor, see if I like the area, or rent in Oldsmar.
Absolutely.
Those are scenarios where it makes sense to rent. Otherwise, it's,
then
few and far between.
Right. No, I would not tell anybody to rent. Definitely.
Exactly. Right.
Get a realtor and get a house.
Yeah. Get into
Buy
homeownership.
that house. Yeah.
Yesterday's show, we had Diane Vance on, and she had brought up an example of someone that was paying, I believe it was like $1,680 in rent.
Mm-hmm.
Over 5 years, the rental payment added up to $108,000 in rent that they were paying to their landlord. So we always talk about building up your own equity, building a legacy for your family. So we're talking with Stephanie Rosario here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. She represents Frank Charles Miranda Law, title company as well. And we talk about a lot of different scenarios that play out. What are some interesting scenarios that you've seen lately, or success stories that you've seen? I know we've had, a couple of deals where here's one that comes up to mind as well, is that not all deals are going to be a straightforward deal. There's going to be scenarios where there's trust involved. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about trust, for example. Trustees.
Sometimes, for instance, one that we are currently working on.
Yep.
When we see that there is a property in title as a trust, we ask the owner for their trust so we can read it to see who is able to sign. Well, this deal, it wasn't like that. I had to contact a company that signed as the trustee for the owner of that property.
Right.
And it's not normally like that, but that's something different, that we saw. And I had to get all the documents over to this trust company. I believe they were out in Fort Myers, and the property was here in Pinellas County. So we got all the documents over to the trust company, and that person, they gave me closing instructions telling me, how everything had to be worded on their end. So, you follow their instructions and
keep moving forward.
Keep moving forward.
Yeah, exactly. Look for the payoff, then you got to get the payoff in those scenarios. Now, if people are selling their home, I don't advocate it, of course, as a realtor, but people want to sell on their own sometimes. Mm-hmm. Is that something where for sell by owners will come to you as well and work directly with you to help, get the deal done?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I've seen that.
Yeah,
done.
Because for sale by owner, you still have to have title, and with me, you have title and you have your an attorney, 2 attorneys at my office, in hand. So it's kind of almost like 2 for 1. You can go to the title person and you still get that real estate attorney in the background. So
just in case something comes up.
Just in case, you never know what will happen.
Yeah, sometimes you get to closing and, I'm not going to sign. I don't want to sign. And then I've heard stories where Frank will jump in there and say, well. It's your choice, but we'll have a lawsuit.
Yeah.
You can file a lawsuit, and that's called specific performance.
Yes, and Frank will jump in and get it going immediately. So, and that's the benefit of using Frank Charles Miranda as, for title.
Right.
Because he is an attorney and he will get things done.
That's right. Yeah, absolutely. And so let's talk about, when we come back on the other side of the break, I want to talk about wire fraud, title fraud, some of the issues that we're seeing as well, not specifically with our company, but, in Tampa Bay, in Florida, there is a certain amount of fraud that's out there. So we want to warn you about that as your consumer advocate. Some of the scams that you see out there as well, robo dialing and those things, you can't really do a whole lot about it, but I know Congress is working on that. But so we'll talk about that. We also have Dr. Bartley Kerr here in studio. We're going to talk more about your health and how you can live a happier, stronger life through nutrition, hormone optimization, exercise, and more here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. And our feel-good story of the day, find out about Aquaman and how he's helping these kids in a hospital as well. So we'll be right back after the short break. Don't go anywhere.
Hey, this is Jarek Robbins. You are listening to the Consumer Quarterback Show with Brandon Rhymes. Please do what it takes to learn all that you have to live the life you want to live it fully, and find a way to give it by paying it forward to others.
Get in touch with Brandon online at consumerqb.com.
All right, this week we're going to talk about something exciting as usual.
We always have something exciting.
Yes, we do.
At least it's exciting to us.
This is a question that comes up.
TV, hey, it is Friday night. We're not here. Yes, we pre-recorded once again because WeBeam TV is working over in Tampa with D'Angelo Rosario.
62 Who Knew. I almost said Professional Mortgage Alliance Joe's Bar and Grill, but actually it's our 39th week. 62 Who Knew.
We're at the wonderful steampunk event at the Verizon Event Center here in 2019. I think it's still August, right? Yeah. Woo! Can't remember. Ask it to me about
Yes. To be able to help businesses to do that part of it. But it's just been a couple of years.
Well, and I've taken the business card files from our business cards and made
Entrepreneurs and professionals of Tampa Bay, welcome to your hour for getting the information, the tools, and the connections
Ian
for
Beckles on Radio Influence.
Or you say left hand white, and then they catch the left hand white. What it does, it helps you quick with hand-eye coordination. Yeah.
Well, that's kind
As your super connector, we want to introduce you to our 50+ show partners. We got over 80 categories of expert contributor advice here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, and we want to.
That's where we disagree, but that's okay.
I said nonviolent.
That's okay.
Because, we're one of the only states that don't give them back to life. We've got Jamie Limbaugh. He is from the Next Step image. I love that name because you were telling me earlier.
For the type of republic we actually are is actually very correct. Yet politicians and regular people use these words interchangeably, even though technically they are very different.
If you're an overdoer, overachiever, people pleaser, we tend to neglect ourselves. And even as Sisters Connected here, with Women Unscripted, I know.
You're listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-670-7372.
And we're back. Brandon Rhymes here, your host of the Consumer Quarterback Show, published author and professional speaker. Check out our book on Amazon, Become the MVP in Your Industry by Surfing the Radio Waves. And it kind of led to our business that we launched with Ken Shamrock. It's the Business Growth Celebrity Academy, bgca.co. Check that out as well. Help you grow your celebrity, increase your status, and build personal brand through our company called the Business Growth Celebrity Academy. Again, partnered up with Ken Shamrock on that, the UFC Hall of Famer and WWF wrestling legend, and now Valor BK, founder of Valor BK as well, Ken Shamrock, the living legend, Ken Shamrock. Check it out at bgca.co, bgca.co. And a couple of hot listings for this segment. We've got a property here in Tampa Bay. This one's a perfect opportunity for a builder, developer, 4214 Peaceful Lane in Land O'Lakes. Now, what we've got is 8 lots that are ready to be developed. 5 of those lots are on the lakefront, waterfront lots available for purchase. 360 feet of lake frontage on Bell Lake, which is a 90-acre ski lake, and the owner is motivated right here. So we've got the preliminary plats available. It is ready to go. The entitlements are in place. So attention builders and developers, 4214 Peaceful Lane in Land O'Lakes. And pass that along. If you're driving around, you think, wait, I know so-and-so that's a builder developer. Let them know about Peaceful Lane in Land O'Lakes, and we would love to talk to them about that. Hot real estate listings at PlatinumMVPteam.com. Somewhere sunny and 75. And this segment is brought to you by the Golf Cart Depot, right there in Land O'Lakes and also in Clearwater. GolfCartDepot.com. Check them out online. They've got the Easy Goes. They got the Elite, Star, and also Cushman. Beautiful, beautiful opportunities to get out and enjoy the Tampa Bay, whether it's a personal use or commercial. Give Marty a call over at Golf Cart Depot. Talk to Marty. He's the owner. Let him know that the real estate quarterback sent you. They've got new and used golf carts, refurbished golf carts, and they hooked me up with the Keller Williams Red right here. We're going out and using it to door knock in the neighborhoods, getting out there in the communities and meeting and greeting neighbors, talking and, kind of doing that, they call it guerrilla marketing types, getting out in the community, meeting people face to face, and good old-fashioned handshaking out there in the community. So thank you to Golf Cart Depot, and give them a call. Let them know the real estate quarterback sent you. All right. In studio today, Dr. Bartley Kerr, National Rejuvenation Centers, and Stephanie Rosario, representing Frank Charles Miranda Law, and also title company as well. So let's go back to Doc here. I want to talk with Doc more about, some of the things that are in your book and what you're doing on a daily practice as well. So we talk about the coolness factor. Let's talk about that one.
Yeah. When patients come in, they're usually lethargic, they're tired, they hit the wall in life. They're putting on 15, 20 pounds. They can't do anything about it. Maybe they have a lipid issue, a cholesterol issue, something going on. But one of the things that really stands out if you're saying, am I a candidate for something like this, is when stuff becomes blah, not cool anymore. Where your wife might say to you, hey, let's go to your favorite restaurant.
Right.
And you say, How about let's go on a trip to our favorite place?
Yeah.
How about a movie with your favorite actor? That's a good indication that there may be something going wrong.
Yep.
And what's really, really fascinating about it is once the hormones are optimized, and there's so many benefits to this stuff, from blood profiles, the health benefits, the physique. But I think when the patients start doing this, the number one thing is the mental.
Yeah.
And there's a positivity about it, and people find stuff cool again, or for the first time in their life, because we don't know if their hormones were ever good in the first place. So, whether it's playing a game with your kids and actually getting into it and trying to beat the kids, rather than just playing with them, or walking the dog in the morning and say, wow, the sunrise looks really nice. I never used to do that stuff.
Yeah.
But now I appreciate it a little bit more because my hormones are optimized, and I'm enjoying the life. And that's what the coolness factor is. When you get that back, things become interesting, and you start doing stuff that you used to do or always wanted to do. And that's really one of the coolest parts of rejuvenation medicine. Once patients' hormones are optimized, they look better, they feel better, they actually embark on things that they always wanted to do or used to do. They might have used to play an instrument, and now they're doing it again, or used to paint, they do it again. And that's what I call success. In the last chapters of the book, what is a successful person? It's a person who has the balance and actually does the cool things they want to do, but now they have the energy and gumption to do it.
Yeah. It sounds like, it improves focus. There's a lot of, and it seems like the hormones are kind of like that, to use like a PC version, they're the program that's kind of running the drive, right? I mean, it's driving it forward.
It's the energies. It's a spark. It's a spark that gives life, and that's where it comes from Greek. It's the spark that gives us life. And when we apply that, when we're not supposed to have it anymore, what we do is we notice that, hey, look, our lives we feel as good as we ever had in our life, and we can do the things that we want to do. And also, when you look at the blood profiles, it's the healthiest they've ever been.
Yeah, let me ask you about that. Speaking about cholesterol, and if you just joined us, I'm Brandon Rhymes. We're talking with Dr. Bartley Kerr here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, rejuvenation doctor here in Tampa Bay. Cholesterol, is something I've been battling. My dad died. My biological dad died very young of a heart attack. Of course, my stepdad's still alive that raised me and played football with and all that, coach. But when you look at cholesterol, how does this affect? How does this play into with that?
It's really interesting because there's a bunch of different types of testosterone. We deal primarily with injectable testosterone. I always tell the patients the cheap stuff works. You don't have to spend all kinds of money on fancy pellets or anything like that. They're actually nowhere near as good as the old. It's just like lifting weights. Sometimes in the gym, the barbells, the dumbbells supersede the $8,000 machine right next to it.
Right.
So that's what I would go with. So when we talk about rejuvenation medicine and what it can do for cholesterol, we see primarily with the injectable testosterone, everything comes down. The HDLs, which are good cholesterol, come down, as well as the total cholesterol and the LDL, the bad cholesterol, and the triglycerides. But what's really cool about it is the ratios change for the positive. So after they all come down, we look at the risk ratio, and they usually go down. We just had a patient, we run another show, a sports show, and he's a world champion of his sport, retired now, but what we did is we saw in 5 weeks, his total cholesterol came down 200 points.
Wow.
This is just with hormone replacement therapy, right?
Wow.
His triglycerides came down 200 points. His risk ratio was in the teens, and now we want it under 5. He's a 3-point something.
Wow.
So it's amazing. I mean, there's no drugs. It's a hormone. We put the hormones that's in his body back in his body.
So what is your take? And I know it might not be in your scope as much, but as cardiologist, for example, but what's your take on the statins?
Don't like them.
Yeah.
When we look at it was neat because last year they did a meta-analysis. They did a study of all the studies done with statins, and what they found out that statins decreased the morbidity or death rate in men in 30% of the men that take statins for 4 months. So these guys actually lived 4 months longer than the non-statin group. And then 2/3 of them, there was no difference.
Wow.
So with that, when we look at that, with the side effects of the statins, I'm not too sure you would want to take a statin.
Wow, that's crazy.
And the women, we don't care about because nobody did a study. But they get the statins the same as the guys. And we found out that the statins in women cause more breast cancer, ovarian cancer, and uterine cancer than Premarin.
Wow.
So I'm not a big fan of the statins, and I think the model is changing. A lot of the cardiologists are going to a different type of model now. They're going for an inflammation model. I think I'm more adept to that. But I play both because when a patient comes in, I want to see all of the normal lipid panels, but I also want to see the inflammation model. And if there's the biggest problem we have, what's the biggest problem we have with cholesterol?
The cholesterol causes heart disease, right?
Plaque, right?
Yes.
So what we like to do is say, okay, you have this cholesterol level and we're worried about it. They want to put you on a statin. Why don't we do a study to see how much plaque you have, if you're making any? And there's a very inexpensive test that they can take right around here. It's $100.
Wow.
And what it does, it's a CT that can give you a cardiac score of how much plaque you actually have. Some of these people with horrible cholesterol have no plaque. So the model doesn't really correlate all the time with the patient. So we want to see that to make sure, we don't want to tell them don't take a statin. I say we might have to send you to the statin police every once in a while.
Yeah.
Because it can't be controlled. There's always that few patients that can't be controlled, but more often than not, when you get your hormones optimized, things usually change for the better, and most often also blood sugars come down. Those are the two big ones, and metabolic syndrome goes away. They're not putting on the weight. If they do put on weight, most of the guys in my place put on 8-12 pounds of muscle, but they lose a couple of inches off the waist.
Right.
So you're getting that V thing.
Yeah.
What's kind of funny, what I find funny about that, I come from an era where that was accepted.
Right.
But the younger guys, the 40s, the younger guys are 40, God. But the younger guys are coming in and they want to be more lean and straight up and down. And we can give that to them too. There's a different strategy of training and eating and so forth.
I like it.
But naturally they're going to go via the women just get that look. Yeah. And we've spent special emphasis on the shoulders and the back muscles and so forth because the postural muscles are very important with the women.
Right.
And they just get that look, when they wear the dress in the back and they say, oh my God, that girl works out.
Yeah.
That's what we're looking for. And oftentimes when we have patients in there, it's funny, I think I put it in the book, we have a mother and daughter, one's 40, one's 60 something. I have to tell my nurse, which one's which? I don't know. They dress this. What happens when these people in their 60s and 70s start taking the hormones?
Yeah.
They get rid of the black socks and sandals and they start dressing like the younger people.
Yeah.
And the guys are all hip. The women look great and they're ageless. You don't know how old they are. They just look good.
Nice.
And my thing is, you got to look good. You better feel good. But the most important thing, you got to be healthy, the healthiest you ever been. And we're going for an A on that blood profile.
Yeah. I like that. Good stuff. Dr. Dr Kerr, National Rejuvenation Center's got Stephanie Rosario in studio as well, Frank Charles Miranda Law. So stay with us. We're going to jump into our lightning round when we come back. Top tips, nuggets of advice, parting words of wisdom. And we're going to talk with Stephanie as well, more about some of the wire fraud, different types of scams that we're seeing out there here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. And our feel-good story of the day, Jason Momoa visits kids in hospital and invites them to the movie set. Stay with us. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
This is Warwick Dunn, and you're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show hosted by my man, Brandon Rhymes.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com. Ian Beck.
All right, this week we're going to talk about something exciting as usual.
We always have something exciting.
Yes, we do.
At least it's exciting to us.
This is a question that comes up.
TV, hey, it is Friday night. We're not here. Yes, we pre-recorded once again because WeBeam TV is working over in Tampa with D'Angelo Star.
62 who knew. I almost said Professional Mortgage Alliance, Joe's Bar and Grill. But actually, it's our 39th week. 62 who knew.
We're at the wonderful steampunk event at the Verizon Event Center here in 2019. I think it's still August, right? Yeah. Woo! Can't remember anymore.
Ask Anthony about Florida.
Yes. To be able to help businesses to do that part of it. But it's just been a couple of years.
Well, and I've taken the business card files from our business cards and made
Entrepreneurs and professionals of Tampa Bay, welcome to your hour for getting the information, the tools, and the connections
Ian
for
Beckles on Radio Influence.
Or you say left hand white, and then they catch the left hand white. What it does, it helps you quick with hand-eye coordination. Yeah.
Well, that's kind
As your super connector, we want to introduce you to our 50+ show partners. We got over 80 categories of expert contributor advice here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, and we want to.
That's where we disagree, but that's okay.
I said nonviolent.
That's okay.
Because, we're one of the only states that don't give them back to life. Got Jamie Limbaugh. He is from the Next Step image. I love that image because you were telling me earlier.
For the type of republic we actually are is actually very correct. Yet politicians and regular people use these words interchangeably, even though technically they are very different.
If you're an overdoer, overachiever, people pleaser, we tend to neglect ourselves. And even as sisters connected here, with Women Unscripted, I know
You're listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here, your host of the Consumer Quarterback Show, owner of the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. I'm a top 1% realtor in the area. We want to help you win in your real estate deals, buying, selling, or investing. We would love to talk to you. And we were recently featured in Top Agent Magazine, Real Producers Magazine as well. And a really cool article there. We got, if you're watching our TV show version, you can see some of that there on our show version, and talking a lot about how we're involved with the community and charities, and we help out with the Work Done Charities and Children's Cancer Center, and getting involved in the community. It's a big part of what we do here at the Consumer Quarterback Show as well. We want to be your consumer advocate. It's all about helping you understand your buying decisions, and we want you to think about this show as the hub of your financial, your business, your real estate, your health wheel. And all those spokes extending out, representing another one of our preferred partners, our on-air expert contributors that we bring on the show every day to help you in your buying decisions, avoiding a lot of the commission-based advice that's so prevalent in our community these days, and making you just a bit more street smart here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. This segment is brought to you by Brothers Easy Moving, the official moving partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. Brothers Easy Moving. And I can tell you from firsthand experience, they are a first-class organization. They do a great job, whether you're planning a local or long-distance move. Reach out to Brothers Easy Moving. Tell Gary Thacker that Brandon said hello. He is the owner of the company, and I've known Gary for a number of years now. Brothers Easy Moving. They do a great job with your real estate moves. And we are back here in studio. Our goal is to help you win. We got Dr. Bartley Kerr in studio, National Rejuvenation Centers, Stephanie Rosario as well, Frank Charles Miranda Law, and title company as well. And every day we're going to tell you something positive in our feel-good story of the day.
Tell me something good.
All right, so Aquaman here, Jason Momoa, stopped by the UPMC Children's Hospital in Pittsburgh on Monday morning to visit and with the brave patients and their families. And the Aquaman star is currently filming a new Netflix film in Pennsylvania. And the greatest part of being Aquaman is making children happy, spreading goodwill, and had a little time before work so to stop by the UPMC Children's Hospital of Pittsburgh. Momoa wrote on Instagram. And Momoa at the Children's Hospital, they shared a series of heartwarming photos and videos from the visit. Momoa even challenged one patient to an arm wrestling contest, and the stakes were high. He told Joshua that if he wins, he would invite him to the set of Aquaman 2. Momoa was defeated in seconds. So, quote, "I see you on the set of Aquaman 2. Stay strong," the actor said. So, pretty cool story. I love those stories where they're getting out in the community and, giving back to those less fortunate, especially sick kids. Nothing worse than sick kids like that. All right, so that was our feel-good story of the day. Let's go back to Stephanie Rosario here, Frank Charles Miranda Law, and we've talked with Frank on the show as well. Frank Charles Miranda, Lauren Frieder's been on the show, and Stephanie as well. So this wire fraud, it's I don't know if it's epidemic proportions, but it happens a lot, and people, they're wiring hundreds of thousands of dollars or $10,000 down payments, and they get caught up in these scams. Talk to us about that.
Well, if you're not calling your title person to confirm the wiring instructions, it can happen. Mm-hmm. So, the hackers are hacking in, and the email could look just like my email.
Yep. And
you think it's me, the title person, and it's not. So that's why we always say, before you send any amount of money, even $1,000 escrow deposit, call the title person and confirm the wiring instructions. Yeah. Do not just say, "Oh, I got the wiring instructions. Let me run to the bank."
Yep. Once you hit click, it's gone.
It's gone.
The money's gone.
You don't get it back.
So here's what happens. So like your email, for example, what is Stephanie@FCMlaw?
Correct.
Right. So Stephanie@FCMlaw.com. They'll throw an extra dot in there. They'll throw a dot between, and just that quick site. You're like, oh yeah, that's the similar email, and
correct.
They might even somehow copy your logo offline.
They copy everything.
Yeah.
Everything. Anything that I have. I mean, they know what they're doing, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But
so wire fraud happens, and so the fact is that if you call before you send the wire, it's harder to fake the telephone number and the voice, right?
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
So that way you know.
Make sure that the person on the other line, when they call me, we read stuff back and forth together.
Right.
I say I have my wiring instructions in my hand.
Yep.
Let's go over it together.
Perfect.
So, we both, the other person on the other end of the phone, we both sit there and go back and forth. Okay, you tell me this part. And then, what's my account number? And then I tell you my ABA routing number.
Yep.
Just so we're all on the same page. And if that money is gone, I mean, once you wire it and it doesn't come to me, there's nothing we can do.
Yeah. There's no FDIC or any of that governing that, right? That's just lost money due to fraud.
Yep. Yeah.
So wire fraud's real.
It's real.
Yeah, it's there.
Yeah. Make sure you, you've got your realtor, and the realtor will tell you as well, call the title company, make sure you verify wiring instructions.
That's right. What other scams are you seeing out there? Back in the day, one of the biggest that we saw back in the 2008 meltdown, when we started seeing these first, I worked for a lender at the time. AmeriQuest had a wholesale company called Argent Mortgage.
Mm-hmm.
So Argent Mortgage, at the time, I remember we had these national conference calls with 500 reps on the call, all the different folks from Miami, Texas, California, New York, all over the country. But we had these first payment defaults, and you're like, wow, people did a loan, bought a house, or I guess refinanced, but they had what they called first payment defaults, and those were the worst, because what it was what they call a straw buyer.
Right.
It was a made up fictitious person. They got a social from a dead person or whatever. So there's a lot of fraudulent schemes out there. You got to be careful, and you got to be diligent.
Yeah. I recently saw a commercial and the person is talking about someone stole my house from me. So, it's easy to do. I mean, the criminals out there, if they know what they're doing, they can take your house.
Yeah.
They often look for people that own a property, Hillsborough County, wherever. They look for a person that does not live at the property.
Right.
So you can go to the tax collector and see, oh, look, their mailing address for their taxes is, in New York.
Yes.
But they own this house over here in Tampa.
Yep.
So, I mean, on the commercial, there, you see these people saying, yeah, and somebody created a deed and recorded it in the public records.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it can happen.
Yep.
And I mean, it's sad that.
And that's what's crazy about title insurance, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry to interrupt there, Stephanie, but title insurance insures our reverse, our history,
right?
Not going forward.
Right. Exactly.
Like most insurances.
But you know what you can do? You can look in the Hillsborough, or what county you're in.
Yeah.
For instance, this county, Hillsborough County Clerk of Court.
Yep.
Just pull it up and run your name and see if you can see your current deed, on title and in the clerk of the court. If you don't see yours, and you see somebody else, that's,
then something started.
Something happened.
Yeah, something started. So
Right,
how do you catch it in the middle? I guess that's the question. Let's jump into our lightning round here. We got some top tips coming at you.
The lightning round.
I am so good at lightning rounds.
I made you.
All right, here we go. Top tips, nuggets of advice, parting words of wisdom. Ladies first. Stephanie Rosario, Frank Charles Miranda Law.
I want to say, back to the wire fraud, call your title agent. Verify wiring instructions before doing any type of wiring when you're purchasing a home. And get an attorney. Don't go to your typical title company. Give us a call, Frank Charles Miranda. We do title, and you have two attorneys, the two best attorneys in Tampa Bay. So
nice. FCMlaw.com.
You got it.
FCMlaw.com. All right, Dr. Bartley Kerr, National Rejuvenation Centers. Top tips, nuggets of advice.
Well, if you're male or female and over 40 and you've hit the wall, you're gaining weight, you feel tired, you're lethargic, and what like you said before, feel blah, rejuvenation medicine may be for you. And we want you to look better, feel better, and be healthier. And we want to do it in an affordable manner. And also we offer this to our patients or prospective patients. If you don't know if you're a candidate or not, don't come in, give us a phone call. We'll do a 10-minute consult for free to see if you are a candidate, because I don't want to waste your time coming into this place. We treat people from all over the country. So we want to make sure that you're not going to travel all the way to see us and then not be a candidate. So before you come in, just give us a call to see if you're a candidate for it.
NationalRejuvenationCenters.com. NationalRejuvenationCenters.com. Dr. Bartley Kerr. All right. I want to thank our expert contributors today. Another great show. Stephanie Rosario, always a pleasure. Dr. Kerr, thank you for coming in. And we want to remind you, as we always say, we want you to please go out there and, be a force for good in the community. Continue the kindness that you see from time to time, and pack up some food or clothing, carry it with you to and from your commute, and hand it to that person that you see in need. You can also volunteer at a blood bank, or volunteer blood, or swing a hammer for Habitat for Humanity. Lots of ways you can be a force for good in the community, do something kind for one another. And of course, follow us online. We'd love to connect with you at Brandon Rhymes 1 on Instagram and Twitter. I've got the Consumer Quarterback Show page on Facebook, and we can link up on LinkedIn as well. Of course, lots of ways that we can connect. And check out our YouTube page. We've got a lot of great content there on YouTube, and our podcast on iTunes. And we'll see you next time right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
You've been listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Whether it's real estate, consumer, or financial advice, let Brandon call your next play. Contact Brandon Rhymes at 813-670-7372. That's 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com. And join us next time for the Consumer Quarterback Show.